We got a lot of stuff to cover.
We have a lot to cover, but and Tom, I mean, how much of when we knew, how we knew? I mean, this thing was kept a secret. I mean, it was kept a secret until there was 95 police cars outside of Valuetainment. People were messaging me, Tom, that work out at the gym that I work on. They're like, "Hey, who the hell is that Valuetainment?" And I'm very good when it's real secrets like this. I'm amazing. My mom didn't know.
Saw you.
Thank you. I had her
on the call.
My mom lit a candle for Pat, and she goes, "What's wrong?" You know, my mom. She's like, "What's wrong? Is everybody sick?" I go, "Mom, nobody's sick. Just light a candle for good luck." "Oh, normally you say to." I go, "Mom, just light the freaking candle." She's like, "Okay, so guys, you want to talk about the security? We'll get to the security status, but Tom, can you please explain how this kind of, without getting too much detail, how it came to be, and then a little bit of the process?"
Well, come on. PBD Podcast is known as the business podcast that covers a lot of issues that are interesting to business and matter to business. That's why we cover economic stats. We cover events around the world. We cover events in the USA, legislation, and it's election year. Casting your vote is also casting a vote for the business. That's our votes. That's what we do. That's how we're the #1 business podcast. And as you can see, they've been out on tour. They've been out talking to more than just the mainstream media. Remember, Trump has to beat 3 enemies. His opponent, the RNC are together as one. Then he has to beat the establishment in Washington that doesn't want outsiders, who are kind of quiet below the surface. And then he's going to beat the mainstream media.
That's 4.
So he has to go 4-0. He has to quickly win 4 games, win the World Series to become president. And so they're out there saying, you know what? We're going to talk to other people. We're going to talk to people that matter. And you know what? We're known. Our presence is known. And so when the opportunity came up, they wanted to come talk to us. And we can see why, and we can see what happened of it. And the audience response already this morning is tremendous. People wanted to see this. They wanted to see PBD talking this stuff with President Trump.
Well, I got to give you a little credit and I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, because you shouldn't.
But
Tom was behind the scenes.
A lot of people have been asking for this interview because let's get real here. PBD. When you want to combine business, politics, social media, influence, just the economy, the world, family, tradition, America, immigration, I mean, you're not
And an angry patriot.
An angry patriot. You're not going to find a better platform to go on and sit one-on-one with PBD. I'm sorry I said it. And people have been asking for this interview, and I'm sure we've all experienced people like, listen, Trump's going on all these podcasts. Like, when's he coming on PBD? Yeah. And the reality was, for whatever reasons, there was some political situations. Diplomacy was needed. Let's just say that. Because it wasn't looking like it was going to happen. For other issues, I'll let you comment on this. But shout out to you, CPR, consistent, persistent, resilient. We said, we're going to have to get to the heart of the matter and discuss what's holding this up. And it was just something minor. But I guess my lesson to everybody, if you want something and you know that it's actually the right thing, you don't stop until you actually turn over all stones, let's just say that, and get it done. So shout out to you for turning over this one little stone that maybe needed to be turned. And then now we got Trump here. Yeah. Let's go. So shout out to PBD and Tom and the team for making it happen.
And how many, Tom, it aired earlier. How many, where was it at, Rob? 300,000, some concurrent.
No.
At one point, it was 107,000.
500,000 views right now.
Where's it at right now, Humberto?
Listen, it's the greatest podcast that's ever been done. Humberto, what are the numbers?
1,000 views.
477,000 views. Guys, and for you guys that haven't seen it, I mean, just from obviously Pat does all the freaking homework and all the research and all the questions. It went from, it went policy, it went personal, it went the future. It was, by the way, I've never seen, and Tom, please, and all you guys, please tell me if I'm correct. He was comfortable once he started using his hand, he was really comfortable. It was such a range of emotion. It was good. It was a conversation, Tom. Because normally when he goes on these things like the Bloomberg thing, it was just, you know them. Yeah, it wasn't confrontational. But and don't get me wrong, there was moments where Patrick held his foot to the fire. You have to challenge him. Pat's not a pushover. And Adam, I love that what you said about Pat. Guys, Pat is this larger-than-life character. that has read and researched and everything. When you talk to a person like that, you are getting the best cliff notes of what this person has read and consumed throughout his life. Like, Tom, how many books? You mentioned this the other day at the staff meeting. Pat has read
thousands of books.
Thousands of books. So when you speak to this person, you're like, oh my God, like, thank you. Every time I talk, when he leaves, I just message him. I'm like, bro, thank you for taking that time to give me all this. So going to this moment, guys, we found out we're going to this thing. You have to give, all your information. Secret Service, they're doing background checks, Tom. They have to know who you are.
They're doing their job.
Yeah.
The Secret Service we saw over the last 72 hours, professionals, polite, persistent, and absolutely thorough. They do all the things, we can't go into the details on it, but they do all the things they do to make sure that we keep the president safe.
Yeah.
And it was a marvelous job that they did. And, hats off to the crew at Valuetainment, the facilities crew, and everybody cooperating, making sure everything was in its place that needed to be so that they feel that he can make a safe visit, have a great interview with PBD, and then make a safe exit. That's what it's all about. And by the way, they're doing this, hats off the Secret Service, they're doing this 3 times a day during election season because he's over here, he's over here, he's over here. And then he goes to, a fundraiser at his house. That's easy because that one's already, but everywhere he goes during the day, it's so well choreographed. The campaign team was really strong. Everything, and you say to yourself, wow, I really, really hope we can get this over the finish line because it's really, you look into his eyes and you see the things he's talking about and what he wants to do for America. He's absolutely right. And I'll say it again. He's got to defeat 3 enemies,
maybe
the
4.
establishment swamp, the DNC, and the candidate, and then he's got to defeat the mainstream media.
Tom, I'll add one more, and then Adam, I'll go to you. You got to add one more, Tommy. It's the assassins. It's the people out there that are trying to kill him, and that's why, Tom, I'm happy.
I kind of put that with the establishment.
Okay, good, great, very
because
good.
they have no desire. No, the
Oh.
establishment has got no desire to try to turn down the heat of these lone wolves that may think about doing something horrible to an elected official.
If they're lone wolves at all.
Tom, on your point, it made me, because after that, when he got shot, after he got shot, we saw him thanking the Secret Service, and it didn't make sense to me at the time. But what I saw myself, like the level of professionals that this country has to offer, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because mind you, I didn't, because obviously, we were around maybe once or twice pre-assassination attempts, plural, and whatever happened from then till right now, this was let me explain something to everybody out there. Besides the pre-setting up for the logistics, Tom, you nailed it. If he's going to 3 of these a day, oh my goodness, guys, and I'm not giving away any of their secrets of the Secret Service. You don't know what they're doing. But from bomb sniffing, vehicles, choppers over the head, the building itself. And if you guys have ever been around Secret Service, I'm pretty sure, and Rob, you guys can attest, you're in there, right? And you obviously are safe. You've been metal detected, your social security background check. Every person you look at is looking right at you. And at one point, I'm like, holy shit, am I going to do anything? It's such an on-point rooms, and going in here, it was very, very professional. I'm talking about snipers, you name it. I feel comfortable that they are guarding him now. You feel me? I feel good.
You had to see it. You had
to see it to believe it.
To believe it.
Yeah.
Bingo. This is my biggest takeaway, because if you've never met a president before, if you've never met someone of that caliber, you don't really know what you're walking into.
Yes.
So, and we've met Bill Clinton, and he was the former
Trump.
president.
Yeah.
You've met Trump before. I've spent time with
Clinton was
other
retired.
people in this.
Tell people about meeting Clinton real quick about because the context in the event.
Well, I'm just going to get to my point.
Yeah.
If you've never met the president before.
Yeah, he's getting there, Tommy.
Let me get this.
Yeah.
If you've never met the president before, it's like, what's it like? So it's not so much meeting Trump, because literally when we had the opportunity to say hi to Trump, we were like, hey, Donald Trump. It was so informal.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you were going to meet Reagan back in the day, you'd be like, hello, sir.
Yes.
Even though Trump, he's such you feel like you know him.
Yeah.
So when he walked in, you're like, yo, what up? Literally, watch.
Yeah.
But it's all the hoopla surrounding it. So I pulled up with Pat. Secret Service is everywhere. bomb squad, SWAT,
surrounded.
local, Broward police.
Snipers are on the roof.
And we're just
SWAT
like,
team.
and we're walking into our own building.
Yes.
And they're just like, hey, man, thanks for being here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a very surreal feeling. That, to me, is when you understand the magnitude of the situation. We're not just meeting a
guy.
random dude
Celebrity.
or even because we've had people show up with their own personal security. We've had cops show. We've had cops at the front of our. This was on another level, and it makes you realize, whoa, this is happening
This is
right
happening.
now. So it makes me wonder the following: so good, so professional, so thorough. How the hell?
Yeah.
And I will never drop this. Trump was this close to not even being alive.
Yep.
Somehow, some skinny little weird dude
Yeah,
on a ladder
Yep.
shows up in Butler, Pennsylvania, and gets a shot off and hits Trump in the ear.
Yep.
Imagine if that was here, not the ear.
It's over.
It's
over. It's over.
So it makes me wonder, how did that even happen? Because the utmost professional security is what I experienced
Yeah.
yesterday.
Like a great point, because from seeing what we saw yesterday, there's absolutely no explanation for the level, the in-depth level of failures that happened in that place. Rob, I want to know Rob, what'd you think?
I'll
of
give
your
it to you.
experience? What?
I'll give it to you. I believe there's two Secret Services. The Secret Service that was in Butler
please.
was led by a failed leader who sat in front of Congress, and she gave horrible, evasive testimony, and she got fired. And then there were the
Kimberly Cheadle.
right, and there were the agents that were not physically qualified. I'm not going to say male, female. If you are
Yeah, they
big
had
enough,
Melissa McCarthy's lookalike there. I get it.
no. If you are big enough, strong enough, and fast enough, I don't care what gender you are, can you do what it takes in a moment of crisis protecting the president or any of our elected officials that have the Secret Service protection? The Secret Service of Butler, Pennsylvania was rife with people put in jobs for the wrong reasons, led by someone that shouldn't have been leading. The other one were the career men and women that were real Secret Service agents that were stunned, shocked, and became whistleblowers after the congressional testimony to say there is a ton of us back here that know what has to be done, know how to do it right, want to do it right. If this charade of leadership will get the hell out of the way. And guess what? After the congressional testimony, it seems like it has. You look around who's on there. So I believe there's two Secret Service. The one we saw at Butler, Pennsylvania, unfortunately, and then the great men and women that we just saw prepare and execute a wonderful visit.
Nice. Rob, quick question. Two-part.
He was the closest.
No, Rob was obviously the closest. Rob, what
He
was
was
your
in the room.
Rob from Secret Service and your experience, and then with Donald Trump, if you could share that, and then also Rob, dive into a little bit of the PBD of the actual content of the podcast.
Well, the Secret Service, to Tom's point, I do believe that you saw two separate Secret Services between what we saw the past 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and what we saw in Butler, Pennsylvania. That being said, the idea that a sloped roof can't be protected is gross negligence at the least.
Yeah.
Or
negligence.
even worse,
Yeah.
a conspiracy among collaborators.
An
to
open
assassinate
door at the
president.
worst.
Yeah.
So to me, like seeing all the protocols that went in place. It blows my mind that they couldn't defend a sloped roof.
Yeah.
You keep going back to that. Oh well, it was a sloped roof.
I love what you're saying, sloped roof. It was like
Slightly sloped.
2%
It was just sloped enough so water could run off.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It was a
like
roof.
it wasn't like a peak.
And guys, trivia question: where do shooters usually stand when they want to shoot things? On roofs. They
Yeah.
look. I mean, that's just how it happens.
By the way, also
on top of a hill, maybe in a observatory.
from the roof of the same building that the Secret Service were housed inside of, the same Secret Service that we saw go through all of these lengths to protect the president. So I don't want to sit here and get conspiratorial, but when you look at what we saw firsthand as opposed to the defense of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, it is two very different systems. As far as the content and prep, I actually went back and I looked at my email. I joined Valuetainment in September of 2021, full house in time in December of 2021. The first email that I ever sent on behalf of this company to try and get Donald Trump on our podcast was December 9th of 2021 at 1:19 p.m. It has taken a long time and many collaborative efforts and many people who are with the company today and some people who have come and gone who have also helped get us to this point. it's amazing that we got here. When I joined the podcast and we were in a 1-floor room in Boca Raton, Florida, there were less than 20 employees. We had 120,000 subscribers to PBD Podcast. And if we were lucky, we had 1,000 people watching live.
Wow.
Now we get on a Tuesday morning and we have 52,000 people watching live. On Thursday, the interview goes out with Trump and we have 108,000 people watching live. We have 2 million people. And this growth happened in 2.5, 3 years. You look at what we've grown as underneath, and I'm sorry, I know this is about Trump.
No, do it. Do your
But this
thing.
is
I love
more
it.
for me about Pat and the leader that Pat is and the team that he has assembled and the crew that we have working here, because this was a collaborative effort. You look at some of the other podcasters who are the biggest podcasters in the world, Joe Rogan. When did Rogan start his podcast? 2011. When did Patrick Bet-David start his podcast?
June of 2020.
June of 2020. And right now, according to all reports from the media, the second to last interview that Donald Trump, the leading candidate for the Republican Party going into the most contentious election in United States history, the second to last podcast appearance he appears on is the PBD Podcast, and rumors are the last one he'll appear on is the Joe Rogan Experience.
Wow.
We're number 2 in 3 years. Wow. It took Joe Rogan 14, 15 years to get to number 1.
Yeah.
So we still have a long way to go, but I want to give props to Tom, to you guys, to Humberto, to Kelly, to everybody that's been a part of this, to the editors that were here. We didn't go home last night. To Deli, to I don't want to forget a single person. So to Natalia, to Deli, to Kelly, to Humberto, to Malik, to the graphics team, Daniel, that was working until 2:30 in the morning.
Brandon.
Look at Connor and Jake right here.
Brandon and I slept on these couches. Patrick was on the phone with us at 3 o'clock in the morning giving us direction on the intro. It takes a team effort. And I've done media for 25 years. I said this when we had a private meeting with the company, but I'm proud to say it today on the internets in front of people.
Plural.
This is the greatest team I've ever worked for, and this is just the beginning, and I'm so excited for the future.
Well, can I just say why I'm proud of you? Because when you joined, because very few people were in Dallas. You would know that. Then it was Boca. You joined towards the. I remember you were sitting in the back of the office. You had the last.
It was me and Mitchell, the events guy that was there for a month.
I don't even remember who that is. But look at you now, Rob. You were back then. I had my own suite.
Oh, I remember
my
that
office.
guy. Nervous
Tom,
Mitchell.
Nervous.
You were back there, and look at you now. You got your own janitor
Closet.
booth,
Yeah.
a closet, office, and Vinnie and I don't even have a desk.
We don't even. This
or
is
a pot to piss in. So congratulations
Yeah.
to you, Rob.
And so
It's
Rob.
the only closet in the building with a big window, and by God, you got it.
Yeah.
And wait.
So Rob, go ahead, Humberto.
No, can I jump on it?
Get on
Like, Donald Trump yesterday gasped at Rob's ability to pull.
Oh my
president.
God.
So,
It was.
how'd you pull that up? He's like,
It
I
was
do this, I do
magical.
it
It
for
was
this.
like-
Okay, but behind the scenes, guys.
You were the chart meister.
Yeah.
The one thing you need to understand about that is that the prep for this began. I think I can speak freely and say
Yes.
that Brandon and I were looped in early on this, and we started on Friday researching through the weekend. Humberto was added to the research team, and I've never spent as much time with PBD as I have over the past 4 or 5 days. We're talking 5-6 hour prep sessions where we're going through to fact check the information that we're going to, because as you know, the one thing that we really want to emphasize about what we do for PBD Podcast and what we're trying to do here is we're trying to be transparent and bring truth to the things that we're reporting. And so Vinny, Vinny, you were part of this process as well. You were in there with us. We're going through and we're compiling stories. We're fact checking stories. We're writing questions based on those stories. We're ranking those questions. We're looking for graphics. We're compiling the research. So when we go in, it's easy to pull things up at a moment's notice when I have you, Tom, Humberto, Brandon, Kelly, you guys well prepping the team. So it really was amazing team effort to get to where we're at. Again, I appreciate all of you.
I love and Rob, I love you to death, and I've obviously it's beating a dead horse when I could compliment you all freaking day because what you've become is absolutely insane. Let me ask
Guys, I would like to actually maybe start arguing and fighting.
Yeah, Adam, shut up.
Love fest.
Adam, shut the
you
hell up, you
Excuse
idiot.
me.
Okay, we're back.
Excuse me. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.